Hello everybody. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how you can make this fighting game in Scratch. So let's try this game. So this game is basically two fighters at the same place and you can punch them or kick them like this. And the one with the more points wins. So now let's get started. So first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna create the start screen. I want Scratch the cat, but I don't need him now. So I'm just gonna hide him for the moment and then go to my backdrops, click on this one and then take the fill tool and let's just try this gradient today. So I'm gonna choose this one. I'm gonna pick a color, something like this. Then before you fill this, you have to convert to bitmap to do so, and then fill it. So now the gradient filling is done. Now we can add some text like fighter game, like that. So let's just fill it with black. I'm gonna take, not sans serif, I'm gonna take pixel today, and then let me just say fighter game. And then I'm just gonna increase its size and then put that right there or here. I'm gonna keep that in there. So there it is. Now here's your start screen. So let's just name this start screen. Start screen. And now let's say when the green flag is clicked, in the backdrops we have to say when the green flag is clicked, you go to looks and then say switch backdrop to start screen. So now let's add a button. So I'm just gonna choose the button from the sprite library. You can make your own button or also can choose it from the sprite library. So there are three buttons over here. I'm gonna choose this one and then make it a bit bigger, like 200 or something. Well, 200 is a bit big. Let's say 170. Yes, 170. So now this button is actually very plain. It has no text in it. So let's just add a text to the button. I'm just gonna take this yellow costume away. I'll take the blue costume. And then I'm just gonna add a text. Let me add the text start. So now I'm just gonna center that and make sure the button is also centered. Yeah, there you go. Now you have your button. So now your button should be here somewhere. Let me just name that normally button and not button 2. And let me just call this costume 1. So now here's the button. It's very nice and good. So now let's just say when the green flag is clicked, you have to show and then say when I receive start, or no, actually when this sprite is clicked, broadcast a message. So let's broadcast a new message. Let's name this start game. So after you have broadcasted start game, you have to hide. So let's just try that out. So when the green flag is clicked, it shows, it hides. It shows, and then it hides. It shows, and it hides. So now let's create another backdrop. I'm just gonna choose a backdrop from the library. And then I'm gonna choose blue sky, and you can choose anything you wanted to. And then say, when I receive start game, then you have to switch the backdrop to blue sky. Sorry for that. So now it just changes its backdrop to blue sky whenever the start button is clicked. So now let's just make the fighter. I'm just gonna pause the video and come back really soon. So I'm gonna just pause the video for the moment. So guys, now I'm done with this cat. So this is just the idol costume. So let's just name that idol. And then what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna duplicate this one and call this one punch. And for the punch, what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna select one arm and then gonna just extend that arm so it looks like it's just punching something. And now I'm just gonna duplicate the idol once again and then name this kick. So the kick is pretty simple, so I'm gonna just rotate that one and then extend it a bit more. Yep. And the heads are a little bigger. The heads are actually big, so let's just make them smaller and then move them somewhere like there. So let's make that. Actually, I'm just gonna copy this, paste it, put that in there, delete that so that I get the same size of the head. Copy, paste, then delete that, then put that in there. So now you have 3 costumes. One is the idle one is the punching one, and the other one is the kicking one. So let me just call this fighter and then say when the green flag is clicked, you have to hide so that it doesn't show in the start screen. And then say when I receive start game, then you have to show. But after we show, we have to make it go to here somewhere here, yeah. So let me just say go to here. And then say I'm just gonna make a variable. I'm gonna delete my variable and then make a variable called state. I'm just gonna call that fighter 1 state for all sprites. Click OK. And then say when the green flag is clicked, set fighter 1 state to idle. Make sure that the spelling in this one is the same as the idle in this costume. The spelling should be the same. And then say forever if let's take the key block and then say key W is pressed. Then set fighter1 state to punch. And then wait 0.1, or I'm gonna just say 0.2 seconds. And then set fighter1 state back to idle. So I'm just gonna duplicate this one and then put that right there. And then say if key S is pressed, then set fighter state to kick. Wait 0.2 seconds, set fighter state to idle. And then I'm just gonna add another script. Say when I receive start game forever, switch costume to, and then you go to variables, take fighter1 state and put that right there. So, and then you have to make sure that the spellings and the punctuations should be the same as the costume names. So let's just try that out. Click start, and now if you see, you can kick and punch. But if I kick, the head is going a bit lower. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to costumes and then put that a bit up. Yeah. Let's try that now. Kick, punch, kick, punch. Now you can punch and you can kick. So let me just hide that variable. And then we are going to just duplicate the cat. Name it fighter2. And then let's make another variable called fighter2 state, so that the computer doesn't messes up with the fighter1 state and the fighter2 state. And then let's just change this. Set fighter2 state, fighter2 state, fighter2 state, fighter2 state. And this one, switch costume to fighter2 state and set fighter2 state to idle. And then let's say if the key up arrow is pressed, then you punch, but if the key down arrow is pressed, you kick. And let's just hide that variable also. And then let's try that out. Wait. Oh yeah, sorry. And then we have to also change the color of these body parts, or something like body parts, so that you don't confuse with what is the first fighter and what is the second fighter. So you can do the filling with while converting to vector also. So I'm just gonna give it a nice light blue color for all the body parts, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. And oops, I think you should not give the eyes a color, because eyes obviously mostly they will be white and the pupil will be black or brown. So let's just say when I receive start game, you have to go to here. So let's go to motions, take this block away, oops, take that block away, and then put go to here, and then say point in direction -90. And you have to go to fighter2's directions over here, and then put left and right. only left and right. And so now, if you see, now the players can punch and kick, punch, 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 kick, 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 kick. But we also need the player to move around. And to do that, we are just gonna use the same script. We're just gonna put the same script. So let's just say, go to controls, say if, go to sensing, key. This is the fighter too. So let's just say if the key left arrow is pressed, then change X by 10 or -10. Let's just see that. So change X by -10, and if the key right arrow is pressed, then you change X by 10. Let's try that out. So now the player can move around. Let's do the same thing for the fire by just taking this block and putting that right inside the first fighter. So let's just say if the key D is pressed, then you should change X by 10. But if the key A is pressed, then you have to change X by -10. Let's try that out. So now, as you can see, the players can move around, they can punch, they can kick, and do stuff. So now that our fighters are completed, let's go and make the score variable and the timer. So I'm just gonna make three variables. Let's call one player 1 score for all sprites, and the other one player 2 score, and the last one timer. And then we're just gonna go to a fighter. We are just gonna create a new script. Say when I receive start game, forever if take 2 equal to blocks and take 2 equal to blocks, take the OR block, take the AND block, and you go to sensing and take the touching block. So actually we don't need the AND block. We'll need 2 OR blocks, 2 equal to blocks, and 1 touching block. So let's just say if touching fighter 2, actually we need the AND block, sorry for that. If touching fighter 2 and let's go to looks, take 2 costume names, costume name, let's change that, and then say if the costume and the costume name is equal to punch or kick. So put those 2 blocks inside the OR block, and then put these blocks inside the AND block, and put all of these in the if then block. So if touching fighter 2 and the costume name is equal to punch, which means he is punching the other player or he's kicking the other player, then you have to change player 1 score by 1. So let's just duplicate this to fighter 2 and then put that in there, and then say if touching fighter 1 and costume name is equal to punch or costume name is equal to kick, then you have to change player 2 score by 1. So let's just try that out. Go in here, then yeah, that's what we wanted. So now the player score increases every time. Like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Punches, punches, kick, 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 kick. So now, when we click the green flag, we have to set both of them to 0. Set player 1 score to 0, set player 2 score to 0. Actually, what I would like to do is that when the green flag is clicked, you have to hide the variables. Hide. We will hide the timer also. So hide player 1 score, hide player 2 score, hide timer. And then when I receive start game, show variable, show variable player 1 score, show variable player 2 score, and show variable timer. And we want the player 1 score to be here, player 2 score to be there, and the timer, I wanted it to be in a large readout so that you get that idea, right? So now, how do you make the timer? Well, the timer is pretty simple. We'll go to stage and then say when the green flag is clicked, set the timer to, let's say, 60 seconds or 30 seconds. You can change them and stuff. So set timer to 60, and then when I receive start game, forever, repeat until go to operators, take the equal to block, and go to variables, take timer, and at the left side and at the right side you put 0. So repeat until the timer is equal to 0. Wait 1 second and change timer by 1. So let's just try that out. So it's 6. Oh, actually, sorry, not 1. It should be -1. And let's just set that to 5 to see whether that works properly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, it stops at 0, right. So let's just change that back to 60. Sorry. So now, how do you make the losing system or the winning system of one fighter? So we'll make another sprite. We'll paint a new sprite. Click on text. I'm taking a black one. And then I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm just gonna say player 1 wins. That's one costume right there. And player 2 wins. I'm just gonna change that 1 to 2. And then say it is a draw. So there it is. Now I have my 3 costumes of the text. I'm just gonna name this 1 win, name this 2 win, and name this draw. So let's just say where we should make it go. So let's just make it go here somewhere. Yeah, we'll just make that go there. And then let's just name this one text. Let me also go to my backdrops. Say when I receive start game forever, if timer is equal to 0, then broadcast game over. Game over. So we're gonna just say when the green flag is clicked, you have to hide, and then say when I receive game over forever, if take the greater than block. Say if the player 1 score is greater than the player 2 score, then switch costume to player 1 win. But if the player 2 score is greater than the player 1 score, then you have to say switch costume to player 2 wins. But if the player 1 score is equal to player 2 score, then you have to switch costume to draw. And for everything you do, you have to show. Let's do that. Show should be there. And show. So now let's try that out. I'm just gonna set its timer to 5 just for testing. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It says it's a draw. But what if I go punch the other player? It says player 1 wins. And if you go punch the other, and if fighter 2 punches the other player, it says player 2 wins. But after we do all of these, or after we say who wins and stuff, we have to stop all. Put that in all the three scripts, and then there you go. Your fighting game is now completed. Let's just try it out. So it stops everything and player 2 wins. So now what? Yeah, let's just change the timer back to 60. And then there it is. Now your game is completed, guys. Good job. So anyways, that's it for this video. If you like it, smash that like button and also share it with your friends. And please subscribe to Lil Scratchers. And that's it, guys. Goodbye.